I found another shadcn UI component that I think interesting to share with you in this video. It's called ogimagecn. It basically does a lot of beautiful OG image that you can see in here. For example, let me try to show you. This is the brand stuff, right? Brand category. Look at this one here. For the content, we have the blog, editorial, grid, then a photo, profile, right? Quote, stats, terminal. Pretty nice. The UI is pretty good. For the product, we have a chunk log in here, event, logo, and then etc. Right? That's a lot of OG image that you can just using that because this is completely 100% free. So this is the demo that I create for you in this video. As you can see, this is the social share preview extension that basically will render the OG image based on the page that we access. For example, this one right here, the first block, as you can see, this is the OG image, right? It looks like this. And basically this is a dynamic OG image on the detail block. If I access another detail block, which is this one in here, as you can see, it's changed, right? The content is changed, but the style is same. Pretty cool. And I also show you the another OG styling that we can clone basically. So I'm going to use this start right for this demo tutorial. Then basically we can access that to the localhost 3000/stats. Then here we go. As you can see, this is the OG image. Then of course, because this is component, you can just use any OG image styling you want, just clone and you're done, right? There's a lot of beautiful OG image styling in here. So let's see how I install and set up this ogimagecn. Right, so we're gonna start from generate brand new Next.js application. I'm gonna call that ogimagecn demo. Then I'm gonna use all the default recommendation. The next, what we need to do, let's just initialize shadcn because ogimagecn is basically should be have shadcn install. So you're gonna get the code in here, then copy the command, then just paste that to your terminal, right? I have already do that basically. Then now I'm gonna open that in my Visual Studio Code. So let's go back to the ogimagecn, then let's take a look how we can install this component. Go to get started installation, then as you can see, basically I like to using the MCP from the shadcn basically. So I have to running this one. I'm using npm. Just copy that and just running, because now as you can see my MCP is just like neon and contact 7, right? So I'm going to run this one, or maybe we can running that on just terminal, just running that like this. Then as you can see, because I'm using OpenCode, I'm going to select OpenCode in here. Of course, you can select any AI agent that you use. Great. So now if I open the OpenCode again and try to access the MCP, let's do MCP. Then as you can see now, we have this shadcn. Pretty cool, right? So let's try to clone shadcn button component, then render it to the home. So let's take a look on the browser. Then here we go. As you can see, this is basically all the shadcn styling, like the default, secondary, outline, small, default, etc. Shadcn just installed successfully. So the next step is basically we need to using the shadcn MCP server again, and then gonna use the OG image component from the ogimagecn registry, right? ogimagecn registry, which is this one. Then add the block component to this project. So I'm gonna paste that like that. So basically the block component is, let me just try to show you this block right here. It should be look like this, right? It's basically go to the ogimagecn.com/doc and whatever. Then it's also adding this registry, right? ogimagecn, then put this URL. It's basically match with, if you take a look on the registry, right? This one right here. Great. All right, this is done. So let's take a look what the AI respond is. Basically, the AI also show what the category that available on the ogimagecn is. Basically have the content like a blog, editorial, grid, and etc. For the brand, have the brand owner, then etc. as well. So let me take a look. It's basically adding this og/blog.tsx. That's basically the component that clone from the ogimagecn. Let me try to open that, which is this one right here. So as you can see, this is the interface, blah, blah, blah. This is the component. So of course you can do that manually. You can go back in here to the ogimagecn. Then as you can see down here, I believe you can just copy it and paste that right here. Totally 100% same. Cool. So now what we need to do is we need to create the road, right? The next prompt is create a road handler at app/og/road.tsx. It should import the block component from the component og/block and return it at image response from next OG. The size is 1200 times 630. Read title, category, author, and excerpt from the request search param and pass them as props with sensible fallback value if any are missing, right? That's I'm gonna running. Let's try to put that on my OpenCode prompt here, then just running. Alright, this is done. So let's take a look what we get. So it's basically create the og/root. Let me take a look app/og/root. So we can access this root basically. As you can see, it's like a search param called title, category, author, then excerpt, right? So it's basically just render the image response come from the block OG component. Super nice. So let me try to access that. As you can see here on basically the AI give this response as well, so we can try it. Let me try to copy this one, then go back to the localhost 3000, then just paste that like this. As you can see, localhost 3000/OG, then send this title, hello world, category tag, and author John. As you can see here, it works. So next, let's try to create the blog post. This is my prompt. Create 3 sample blog posts as a simple array of objects in lib/post.ts, each with a slug, title, category, author. Then create a dynamic road at blog/slug/page.tsx that render the post title and excerpt and set its Next.js metadata, open graph, and Twitter image to point at /og with that post title, category, author, and excerpt as query params. So let's try to hit enter. As you can see, it's basically create the post.ts inside a lib folder. So let's take a look. As you can see, we have a post in here, right? Basically 3 objects. Cool. Then also we have the layout as well. It's added the meta database, as you can see, right? Where is that? This one right here. Cool. Then the next thing is we need to basically render the block into the page, into the home component, right? So I'm going to run this prompt, create a home page at page.tsx that lists all posts from post.ts as a simple link card. It's linked to the blog/slug. So that's what I need. So let's hit enter. All right, so the build is passes. So let's try to see the result. As you can see, look nice. Let me try to click that, and yep, it should be works, right? The detail of the block also works. So I'm going to use this extension, social share preview browser extension. You can just adding that into your Google Chrome basically. Then after that, as you can see here, this is the detail of the block. Then I already installed it. If I click that like this, it should be show the OG image down here. Then as you can see, it works, right? The title, the content in here, then the author as well, it just render pretty nice. So let's try to adding another OG just for demo. So I like to try to use this stat right here, right? This stat styling. Let me try to do that here. I just want to run this prompt basically using the shadcn MCP server, add the stat component from the ogimagecn registry to this project. All right, this is done. So as you can see, it basically clone the stat component and putting that on the og/stats.tsx. This is basically the file. Here we go. Then again, after we clone the component, we have to create the road handler, right? A road handler on the og/stat/road.tsx. It should import the stat component from the component og/stat and return as an image response, right? Just that's it. So I'm gonna copy everything, then just run it to my prompt. All right, so as you can see, it already created the og/stat/road.tsx. So this is basically the road that we can use to render the OG, right? Cool. So the next thing is we need to using that on the page. So my next prompt is basically to create a new page inside the app/states, then show this fake site grow and etc. Right? And then it should be create the metadata, then point it into the og/stat. That's it. So I'm gonna run it. All right, this is done. So let's take a look. I'm gonna open the app/stat/page.tsx. Then as you can see, this is basically the page. Right, and then inside that we have this metadata that render this image right here, right? It's sending this OG stats basically and send this URL search params. Cool. Let me try to access that here, localhost 3000 slash starts, I believe. Let me try to see, and then as you can see down here, right, this is basically the OG image. It should be same with this one right here, as you can see, right? Pretty cool. And of course, this component is completely free, 100% free, so you can just try it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. See you on another video.